Hello. I am continuing the story from where I left off. My mother's death caused a lot of people to come to my house. And people were coming there to tell us how sad they were of my mother passing. My grandmother came to my house and she was crying. Almost everybody was crying. We went to see our mother's dead body in the casket, or in those bodies or those objects where they put dead people in. And almost everybody was crying. I think everybody was crying, except me. And my sister was like, goodbye, Mom. We won't get to go with you to Egypt. We were planning to go to Egypt. We were planning to go to many trips with Mom. But we couldn't do that because she was dead. And then we went to Masaini for the funeral. And then, so hard to talk about. Why is it so hard to talk about? I remember it was so chilly that day. It wasn't that chilly, but it was, like a cool day. And then we went to Masaini. We were joined by my cousin Simaloy's mom and Simaloy's brother and Simaloy's sister. We went to a house with them in Masaini. We didn't have anything. We didn't have electricity. We had food, but we didn't have TV. I remember it was so boring, but with Simaloy there and her siblings there, it was all right. And they visited my aunt Supat, my cousin Supat. And I was like almost taller than her. And then so we went to Masaini. My aunt Helen was there too. She was crying too. And she was like, I think she said she was so glad to see us. And then on the day of the funeral, I remember one time before the funeral, I told someone that we're celebrating my mother's funeral, and I accidentally said something, angering for my sister. My sister was like, "You're happy Mom's dead?" And I was like, "No." And I shouting frustration. I was so angry. I didn't know how to express myself. I was, making awkward, shouting. I was saying things like, "She did this for me. I enjoyed having time with her." I was so frustrated. And then on the funeral, we had our cousins, our aunts and uncles looking at our casket. There were pictures too of me looking at her casket and others looking at their casket. Others were crying, and I was like, what can I do? And I just like said what came to mind that day, just to say like, I'll miss you, and that was it. Then it came to sitting down and watching them, bury my mom. and it was like so scary with my sister crying and saying they're burying her, she's going down, and we had to like bury her with mud. She's at the funeral, and then me and my sister were like talking to the congregation that day. We made long talks about our mom and our experiences with our mom. And so then we met our cousin that used to take care of us in South Africa. We had a good conversation with her. And then we went to Zamaloy's house. We were having a good time. We were playing with each other. We were trying to find ways to pass the time. And I think everything was good by then. Everything was like, okay, it's all said and done. My mom died. We can't do anything about it. We said our last goodbyes. We cried our hearts out. Well, everyone cried but me. And so then that was it. And now we returned back to Nairobi.